Well, good morning. How are you all today? Welcome to Integrative Preparedness. I'm Steve Smith. It's been a couple of days, I think. I don't know. It's been so busy. I can't remember the last one I put up, but it was a busy weekend. It was a busy week. By the way, welcome all the new people. We've had just a lot of folks join up on both the YouTube channel and the Patreon channel. If you're not with us on the Patreon channel, we'd love to have you. I put a lot of stuff up there that never gets to the YouTube channel, and that link is right below. I'll tell you another channel that's growing is American Revival, my other channel where I talk more about politics and things because I want to keep the politics and such as much as I can off of this channel. This is supposed to be and is a preparedness channel, and I think that too many channels get all wound up in the daily stuff, and that's kind of the subject of today's video. But I want to be able to cover that stuff and some of the real dangers, and so I do that over on the American Revival channel. Yesterday I put up the truth about slavery. One of the things that really jeopardizes our country is the ignorance that is so pervasive amongst many of our citizens about the truth of history and the hatred that springs out of that ignorance. And so over there, I'm not going to spend a lot of time doing it here. Over there, I cover these things because most people don't know about these things. And the sad part is they don't know that they don't know. They think they do know. Well, yesterday I talked about the truth of slavery in North America and how the failure of people to understand the truth has led to a lot of racism, and we're dealing with it today, and that could be a real problem that we have to deal with. Today I talked about this idea that America is stolen land, this stolen land from the noble Indian, right? Nothing could be further from the truth. That's an idiotic statement and thought that's been allowed to grow because nobody slam dunks it. Well, I do slam dunk it over there, just like I slam dunk this idea that of so many of the thoughts about slavery. So if you're interested in that stuff, the link is down below somewhere. American Revival. Come join us over there. I'll tell you what I do, just as a warning to new people. I had to ban somebody over there yesterday because they came on and they were abusive and argumentative and combative and rude and crude and all that kind. I don't allow that on my channels. So because we have good people here who like to come here and talk and learn and listen and talk with each other and contribute to the process, and that's what we're about. So let me ask you here, what are you preparing for? Okay. Now that's kind of a broad question, isn't it? What are you preparing for? And different people are going to have different answers. So one person is preparing for this over here. It might be the collapse of the monetary system. This person over here is preparing for nuclear war. This person over here is preparing for the collapse of the grid. This person over here is collapse of the banking. Whatever it is, shortages of food. Okay, all sorts of things. People have a lot of different reasons. Most people have one or two things that are kind of at the top of their preparedness pyramid that they focus on more than others. And if you peruse the other preparedness channels, many of whom are not really preparedness channels, they're just fear channels that talk about all the latest scary or horrible things that happened today, you'll see that there is a never-ending, bottomless pit of things about which you should be frightened, right? And so you've heard me say this before. I have harped on this. I will continue to harp on it because it is one of the biggest stumbling blocks for people in their preparedness. They get too wound up in the fear of the day What's Putin doing? What's Israel doing? What's Trump doing? What's China doing? What's AI doing? They get so wound up on that they're just worn out from their fear that they don't really prepare anything. They think that they have the mistaken idea that being afraid of something is the same as being prepared for it. You know what I haven't done in a while? Some of you will get this. Some of you won't, but that's just a second. That's how we, well, some of you get it. Uh, well, it's kind of like being out in the woods. And so remember, the question is, what do you prepare for? And I'll tell you what I am preparing for and prepared for and continue to prepare for. Okay. Because without understanding what it is you need to prepare for, how are you going to prepare for it? I've used this example sometimes before. If you're going to have a test in school and they don't tell you which test it is, whether it's a math test, a history test, an English test, whatever like that, how do you know what to study, right? Well, you should study for all of them, and that kind of fits in with what we're going to talk about. But it's kind of like going out if you're out in the woods in the dark, and somebody says, oh, there's a big noise over there. Something's coming from over there, and you whirl around and you look at it and you put your sights on it, or you grip your knife, or you whatever. You're all, what's coming? Is it Sasquatch? Is it a robber? And then somebody else, you hear a big crash over there, and somebody else says, "Oh, look over there." Well, you go on like that, you just gonna be a bobblehead, all night long, right? Looking at things in the dark. Oh no, what's coming at me? Well, you never get anything done like that. You're not going to get anything worthwhile done like that. So what do you do? Are you familiar with the concept of channeling as pertains to defensive positions? Okay, I get into it. I mention it. I don't go into a lot of detail, but I mention it in my first book, The Reversion. Oh, somebody asked me the other day, says, are your books, are they like lists? Are they instruction manuals? Are they novels? No, they're novels. And they're novels that contain all the information. I'll show them to you in a minute, tell you how to get them. We have been slaughtered. I think last week, by the way, I think we set records on both through the website and Amazon on book sales. But we'll get to that in a few minutes. Well, channeling has to do with constructing the environment, by opening up certain areas and closing off other areas. You military guys know what I'm talking about, and I'm trying to put this in a way that everybody understands it. Over here, if you want them to come up a certain way, okay, well, you want to make other ways more difficult for them, right? Bunch of bramble bushes, bunch of barbed wire, bunch of lousy stuff, a ravine and stuff like that. Now, it doesn't fool seasoned attackers, but most people you can channel them. And I'll be honest, I have done that with certain landscape features at our home. No, I'm not going to show them to you. But it brings it down so that you have fewer directions that you have to keep an eye on, for the most part. If you got good dogs, they'll let you know if somebody's trying to come through the other parts. But for the most part, you construct a landscape that kind of channels people, if they're going to come get you, to come at you in just one way, one direction, one area that you can cover. Okay. Are you familiar with Thermopoly? The 300 Greeks in Thermopylae, Leonidas. Look it up. Well, you can apply this to your preparedness. And how you do that, think about the things that we should be concerned about. Okay. We have problems in our own country, right? We do. That's what I talked about on the other channel. We have clear and present dangers here. And some of it is going to be the racial hatred that seems to be growing in our country, okay, among certain minority groups against whites, and a growing pushback from the majority. I hate to use black and white, but it's just the way it is. That's how they see it, so I guess I will. And the pushback from the majority, or the whatever whites or well-to-do blacks, against those people who hate them because of their success. Shall I put it that way? So we have that to deal with, and it is. I don't want to skip over this too quickly. That is a clear and present danger. If racial conflict kicks off, and it looks like it very well could, it's go time, and I mean right now. And it is go time in a way that most Americans have never seen and cannot understand. And as a result, they will be victimized. Okay? We could be entering another, summer of St. George. Depending on what happens with this Carmelo Anthony. Okay? Racial tensions are building. Sad to say. I hate it. But I'm not going to ignore it. I'm not going to say that it doesn't exist, because it does. I've been shown. I see it. I have gone into areas of the internet that I had never been before. Areas of YouTube I've never been before, and I'll tell you, the hatred that is out there would shock most of you. I put some of it over on the Patreon channel. Not going to put a lot, and I put more of it over on the American Revival Patreon channel. If you want to stay up to date, that's a good way to do it. So that is a clear and present danger. Are we going to experience food shortages as a result? I just put something up the other day about what's happening to the American cattle herds. Possibly. Okay, that's on the horizon. That is a clear danger, not necessarily a present danger. But it's there. And if we start experiencing shortages, that's going to be a problem for people who aren't prepared. Okay? Are we going to experience, as so many people would have you believe, economic problems? Now, that one probably not. I know that there are other channels trying to scare you all the time about, oh man, things are horrible, we're in a depression. And I told you a long time ago, we're not. Don't worry. Work harder, okay? Work harder. There is a problem, however, in the prepper world with too many people who are not responsible. Now, that sounds funny, doesn't it? Because preppers consider themselves responsible, and they should be. Preparedness is a responsibility. It's the ultimate responsibility, the ultimate irresponsibility. And the people who consider themselves preppers should be responsible for building their own resilience. Okay. Sadly, many people who consider themselves preppers are just warriors. Not warriors, but worriers. Okay. I know they think they're warriors, and they're just warriors because they're scared of everything and not doing much about anything. Okay, so I've said this before. No, we're not in a recession. We're not headed to a depression, but we have seen rising prices. They're gonna, you know why? Because prices always rise. Sometimes they rise faster than other times. Okay, and things can happen that you can't control that drive that. Well, if you take responsibility for yourself, you have made sure that you are making more money. You're not? I saw you back there saying, well, how can I make more money? You can make more money. That's a part of it. That is a part of being responsible for yourself. Tom Usher, over on our Patreon channel, our poet laureate, says the way through most financial difficulties is to earn your way out of it. That's right. Not worry your way out of it. Earn your way out of it. I put something up on the Patreon channel. This has to do with poverty and work and all sorts of things. And it was a story, it's just about a 5-minute video about Madam C.J. Walker. Are you all familiar with her? Well, if you're not, you should be. She is an example to so many people. She was the first black female millionaire, born to slaves. She was born in the late 1800s, and developed a cosmetic company that she built door to door. I won't go into detail. Watch the video. She came up with something that developed into a cosmetic company. She made it in a bowl, went door to door selling it, and when she died, she was worth over $1 million and had a sales force of, I don't remember if it said 2,000 or 20,000 people working for her. I have no. It doesn't matter. I know there's a big difference between 2,000 and 20,000, but it's a lot. Here's a person who came from nothing. She could barely feed her kids, and she had a scalp problem. Her hair was falling out. So she can't. I'll tell you a little bit about the gist, but go watch the video. She developed some kind of stuff that she put on her hair. Her hair started growing back. People saw it. She started selling it, became a millionaire. There is no excuse for you not being able to do it. No excuse. And that goes to whether you're a prepper that say, I can't get ahead, or a black person who says, I can't get ahead because the man's keeping me down. Black female millionaire in the early 1900s. She could do it. Other people can't. You know the difference? Work and application of effort. And dedication. A dream. So, are you prepared for that? Are you prepared for the economy? Okay. Are you prepared for the violence that very well may come as a result of an increased hatred here on our own soil? And I mentioned the apparent black hatred that's rising against whites and well-to-do blacks, and but also the Muslim threat. It is. Well, if you are preparing for any of those individually, you're missing the boat. You're missing the point. Are you prepared for a CME or EMP? That's what my books are about. I'll tell you how to get them in a minute. If you have, I'll tell you right now, if you haven't read them, I would suggest this be the very next thing you do, okay? These are my books, the books that I wrote, 7 novels, The Reversion, The Revival, The Renewal, An Appeal to Heaven, The Blessings of Freedom, Hostages to Fortune, and On Wings Like Eagles. And I have put all the thought into this, guys, so that you can learn. And they are called by many the best post-apocalyptic series they've ever read. I call it the complete guide to preparing for, surviving after, and rebuilding after a complete collapse of everything. You can get them a couple of different ways. This is what you should. It's a total CME, world-killing CME. It's a story of a prepared family, a normal family, not a rich family, a normal family who, as a result of their preparedness, is not only able to continue to live a high-quality life after the collapse of everything, but is also able to help other people. And then, as a result of that, they start to rebuild community. It's a fascinating story, if I do say so myself. I go through the reintroduction of certain basic technologies, comparative justice, community building, and of course, I do all the bad stuff too. I talk about cannibalism and slavery and murder and everything like that, but I talk about how to handle it properly, according to biblical principles. How about very few bad words? You can read this as a family. I don't like authors who stick a bunch of profanity in their books just to get attention. You can do it. If you're a good enough writer, you can do it without all that junk, right? So how do you get them? And you should. If you haven't read them yet, I invite you. This should be the very next thing you do. You'll love the story, and you'll learn more than you can shake a stick at. You can get them a couple different ways. One is Amazon. That link is down below. A better way, although I want to warn you about this way, a better way is through me directly through our website, stonemont.us. And when you do it that way, I sign them for you. I write a note in there in each one of the books to you. You can buy them as a whole set, which you can't do through Amazon. And then we're able to give you a discount because it saves us money when we ship them through shipping and handling and postage and all that when we do it that way. And then I toss in the Stonemont notebook. And that's the great way. I love it when you get it directly from me now, but I have to warn you, we have been slaughtered with orders. You're not going to get them from me that quickly, not near like Amazon. We're currently several weeks behind filling orders simply because we keep selling out and reordering and selling out and reordering. It's just, I know if I ordered 100,000 books of each one, maybe I could keep up, but we're not to that point yet. So if you're willing to wait some, I hope you'll order through me, because I love knowing who my readers are. I love sitting down, being able to say to John or to Nancy or to whoever. I love that. But however you do it, read these. These are going to help you prepare for everything. I always say prepare for a CME or an EMP or a grid down, because if you're prepared for that, you're going to be prepared for everything. There is nothing, if you're well prepared, and it's a process, don't think. I had somebody come on the other day and says, if you're not prepared by now, it's too late. And when I see stupid comments like that, I go back and I say, okay, let me see his other comments. And he had left a number of negative comments like that I guess that I had missed because he was responding to somebody else instead of leaving original comments. And I just banned him because that's stupid. See, I'm not going to have anybody come on here and degrade other commenters or other viewers. That's just stupid. Plus, he's wrong. And I don't let people come on and give wrong information. If you're not ready, if you're not prepared yet, it's not too late. It's not too late until it's too late. And we don't know when that's going to be. Okay? Do something every day. Get out there and have a plan. Say, what is it I'm preparing for? And just like the concept of channeling, if you prepare for the big one, an EMP, CME, grid down, none of that other stuff is going to bother you. You're going to be ready for it. And there are clear and present dangers. There are present dangers, those things that might bite us right now. There are clear dangers, of which EMP, CME, grid down, that is assured. That will happen. And so prepare for it. So think about that. What are you preparing for? I told you that I would tell you what I'm preparing for. That's what I prepare for. I prepare for total grid down. Whether it's CME, cyber, EMP, whatever. Total grid down. Because if you're not prepared for it, and it happens, when it happens, and it will happen, boy, you're going to wish you had. You're going to wish you were. If it, all the times that smaller things happen, and you're prepared for the big one, you'll hardly notice, right? On the back of my first book, The Reversion, it says Jim Wyatt, that's the lead character, said that if it all collapsed, he didn't want to just survive. He didn't want to notice. You should be like that. That should be your goal. By the way, thank you all for your suggestions for who should play different characters in the movie if they make a movie of the Stonemont series. That's kind of cool. I've been playing around with that idea, and it's a lot of fun. And I'm learning a lot in the process as I dig into, as I research the process of movie making and things like that. We'll see what happens, right? Okay. But thank you all for your thoughts and prayers. I really appreciate it. So think about that. Determine what you're prepared for. Stop being scared. Stop listening to all these people that want you to be afraid of something new every day. All that means is that they're afraid of something new every day. You shouldn't be afraid of anything. You know, the old saying, like my kids' video that they made years ago, don't be scared, be prepared. That's exactly what you should do. Okay. All right. Well, you all have a good day. Remember, this should be the next thing you do. I hope you'll, well, get them. You'll learn a lot. I hope you get them from me, and that's only because I love signing them. I'm going to spend the rest of the day signing things that are going out today. But but be prepared to wait. But however you get them, learn from it. It will change the way you prepare. It will change the way you think about preparedness. Okay? All right. We live in a world of clear and present dangers. We can't be scared of them all. We can prepare for them all by preparing under an umbrella of being self-sufficient, self-reliant, being our own providers of those vital areas: food, water, shelter, defense, medical, people. And that's where you ought to be headed. Okay? Y'all have a good day. Remember that we prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.